Welcome, everyone. We're back with episode 2 of Move Those Belts. I'm Joe, and
I'm Justin. And, you know, I enjoy Joe enough to agree to a second episode.
A second episode. Look at this. You know, only 2. That's it.
That's it.
No.
That's our saying around here.
Yeah, 2 is enough.
Yeah, 2 episodes and then a movie.
Yes, that's how movies are made now. So welcome back, right? You know, welcome back. If you don't know what Move Those Belts is, it is a recap of the WWE main shows, Raw and SmackDown, from the course of the week, as well as just introducing different topics to discuss, doing some predictions at the end, and just point out anything that you might have missed or that, you know, might be funny. So how are you today, Justin?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Doing great. I think I'm doing great. I think it's going to be a good day.
I think it is. If you think it's going to be a good day, it's going to be a good day. Remember, you can manifest. I don't know what manifestation actually is. The people
no one really does. Well, here's why it's going to be a great day. Because after this, I'm going to eat pork tacos.
I mean, there you go. I mean,
yeah.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge my sisters for making pork tacos on
That's
her
amazing.
birthday.
On her
She's
birthday.
making tacos on her birthday.
She's making the food on her birthday.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of benefiting from that.
I am, and I'm super appreciative.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I got a bunch of things to do today myself. Been pretty good, just busy, you know, work life, you know that. Yeah, so Raw is coming around this area. I had considered going to it. I just can't swing it with everything that's happening. I was like, if I can, I should. But then I'm like, you know, Justin and I are headed to Japan this year in July. So that's a big thing that's on my mind, and spending money.
I would have been able to make it to Raw, but I am committed to one more yoga class, and as all jokes aside, I have to go to that one last yoga class, and I would have been free if we didn't start late. We started late because we went to the Eclipse up in Vermont. So if it wasn't for going to the Eclipse in Vermont and seeing one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my entire life, I'd be able to go to Raw next Monday. It's okay. We're in story building season. I don't think I'm going to be missing anything.
Yeah, I think that it'll be the Raw after Backlash. So I think we're okay. You know, it might be a down night for that, so we'll see. But anyway, so let's
Backlash. That's great.
Yeah, it will be. Which is weird because they're going to be in France, and then basically they have to fly back the next day. And that'll be interesting to see how either tired or what wrestlers they actually use that night. You know, because
we're gonna get Cedric Alexander and Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker for all of 20 seconds, but we'll get to that later on. Because it's starting to become kind of a joke, in my opinion. You can disagree with me. Okay, but here we are. So we came up with a new section, and it is called "Did Those Belts Move?" And in "Did Those Belts Move?" we discuss if any belts moved, and you know, with just no opinion, just giving you the quick hits of if a belt had moved, had changed hands. So, Justin. Did those belts move?
Joe, I am happy to announce that no. Well, yes. Those belts did technically move, and it was the women's championship belt.
Mm-hmm.
So did it move? Technically, yes, it moved, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, yeah. I mean, here we are.
The women's championship was determined by a women's battle royale, and it was a real banger. Mm-hmm. I definitely thought It could have
No
gone
opinions.
in
No
many
opinions.
different directions. It could have went in some
discuss
fun
this.
directions. But it went to the man, Becky Lynch, and I think this is great for storytelling. I think they made the right decision, and we'll jump into that a little bit later.
We will. We'll discuss that at the end of Raw, our Raw recap. So Raw this past week was on April 22nd. So let's discuss this right off the rip. Let's get into it. So Jey Uso right out the gate, and cuts a promo with Damien Priest, which seemed like a very, very supportive, for each person kind of promo, until Damien had to obviously act like the heel that he still is,
right?
And deprecate Jey a little bit, but I mean, I think that it's a very, I think that we're seeing, the face turn, for Damien Priest, obviously.
Yeah.
Continuing, JD, McDonough tried to jump Jey Uso, and then, Jey, goes to super kick JD, but super kicks Priest, and Priest wasn't that angry at Jey. He was more angry at JD McDonough, which is really showing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, I think he was mad at JD for pretty much botching the jump there.
Right. I think that he looked upset at the fact that he was even trying to jump Jey, which I think Damien isn't all about that at this point. I think he wants his matches to be, kind of by the books. He wants to be that workhorse.
Yeah, he wants to establish himself.
Yep, just like Seth did with that belt. So
a little legitimacy to the belt,
right? And that's going to add to this face turn. Anything else to add to this?
Well, it's actually interesting because I can't remember if it's been a while or if I just haven't been paying attention, but was this like the first time that Jey had told us that he's now in our city? Because I feel like it's been a while, but he came out and was like, Jey Uso is now in your city. And I was like, wait, it's been a while since he said that.
It has been. It really has been. Yeah, he just...
Right before and then he gets into a match. So it was kind of cool to hear them say that again.
Yep.
One day we'll hear the Usos are back in your city.
Yeah, I know. That'd be great. We the ones.
Yeah.
I miss that. I miss that theme. I know that Jay's theme is very reminiscent of it. Evidently Jimmy is hurt too. Is actually hurt. So.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I heard through the grapevine that he's dealing with an injury. I'm not sure of the seriousness, but we can talk about injuries in a little bit. So moving on, we had our first match of the night, tag match for the belts.
Yes.
Awesome Truth versus DIY. DIY
still a banger song. Banger of song.
Yep.
Awesome Truth song.
Awesome Truth is awesome. And our Truth just singing, coming out. It's pretty great. They use this in-ring camera, and I've seen this for like when they announce the championship match. They'll show the fighters, and it makes them look like a video game. I don't know what that camera does, but it's
like blur the background, kind of like
it kind of blurs the background, and it really just makes the wrestlers look, I don't know, sharper. It's hard to tell.
It's interesting that you pointed out about the cameras because I actually wrote down that this is definitely the most official looking Monday Night Raw title defense camera angle I've ever seen. That's what I wrote in my notes.
Definitely.
So there's definitely something to the cameras.
Yep. And here's something that happened. DIY got booed off the rip. They got booed, and I hadn't seen that. And it was very odd to see. It was a really, really fun match. Ended with the the Awesome Truth
crushing finale.
The Truth crushing finale. It was a really good match overall. If people want to see the match, they should watch it.
Oh, it was definitely a banger. It was a great match.
Yep. Great match. At the end, they went to shake hands. Tommaso Ciampa didn't want to shake hands.
Yeah, he sat on the apron.
So kind of a not heel turn necessarily, but just I'm not into that right now.
The only thing I can think about is like there was a point in the match where Ciampa was pinning Truth, and I'm not completely convinced that Truth didn't kick out. Like I'm pretty sure the ref just said it was a 2 count. And that's like if they want to spin a story for why Ciampa is pissed off, it's that he did not kick out at all. So,
but that's kind of really, really funny. I think that the Awesome Truth are really, really fun to watch in ring, but they're also very entertaining just on the mic and everything. So I think that them continuing to hold the belts, I didn't want them to lose to DIY, a few weeks after WrestleMania.
I wouldn't mind. They're the kind of team where I wouldn't mind seeing a few, and not many, gimmicky final results, like kind of how like Truth got hit in the head and he fell over and got a pin. Like that was a couple weeks ago. He fell over and accidentally got a pin. Like I wouldn't mind seeing a couple victories with like that.
Yeah, just like serendipity,
Yeah, I also love that like R-Truth is John Cena. His whole moveset is John Cena's, but the crowd like doesn't bat an eye, and I don't bat an eye. When he's waving his hand, I'm saying you can't see me, as if it's John Cena. So I love it.
And I think it's really cool that it's funny that it's like his childhood hero, and it's like they're basically the same age.
Yeah.
It's just it's a really fun moveset. Obviously, I think it's cool that John Cena is fine with it, because obviously if John Cena was like, no, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really fun time. I think I think they hold it maybe until the next major PLE.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
I think fun stuff's going to happen at SummerSlam this year, I think.
Yeah. So, and I think that you have to move the belts more. So I think they'll do that. In my opinion, you can't do these prolonged, there are some belts that need to be held for a little bit longer now, but you can't do this prolonged, title hold, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You should have titles occasionally exchanged on Raw and SmackDown, in my opinion.
To your boy.
Yeah, Gunther and Imperium.
Showing
comes
up
out
in sweatpants.
Yes.
I'm not fully convinced that they weren't sweatpants. I'm telling you that. I've seen people at the gym wear this stuff. That was a sweater, and I think they're wearing the same sweatpants I'm wearing right now.
He's going through a thing right now. Obviously,
he's going through a thing.
But it's really good. And he presented it as now I'm no longer the hunted. Now I can be the hunter.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's a really good one. He had a new song, I think, or no, he does.
I didn't pick up on it. It was.
He doesn't have a new song. Declared himself for the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
So we'll see Gunther in that. The New Day interrupted it. They talked about the King of the Ring tournament there.
Where you gold at? Put your where you gold at? Where you gold at? Put your where you gold at?
That was a good one. And then so Gunther got tired of dealing with it. Told Imperium to get into the fight with New Day.
Yeah, to deal with them.
Yeah. Okay, match. It wasn't
real quick. I lost it while watching because Gunther tells them to fight them, and New Day's like, "What? No, we've already done this. Like we've done this so many times." I loved that because I was like, "It's true.
It's true." And so the match was, it was fine. It was a fine match. It wasn't anything to write home about. I think you had the expected ending of New Day winning because Imperium doesn't win. We know that. If they win, it has to be through some ill-gotten means. Gunther gets up, throws a chair, looks at Kaiser, and then Kaiser picks up Vinci.
Very cute moment.
Yeah, very cute moment. Hugs him, kisses him, and then turns on him. Completely destroys, Giovanni Vinci.
Like, actually does a pretty good job at brutalizing him.
Yes. Does the same move to Vinci that he did to Kofi Kingston that one time. And at first, you're thinking, is this him going rogue? And then we see him walk back into the back, and Gunther standing there smiling. So we knew that Vinci was kind of being
directed
to do something about it. And it makes sense because Kaiser and Gunther have a history going back to Germany and everything, wrestling in Germany. So it makes sense to keep them together. And have Vinci kind of fade
you're
out.
not a faction if there's only two of you.
Yeah,
while Vinci didn't, I don't feel like Vinci did much. I definitely feel like he was fine. I like him.
He was fine. He was fine in ring too. He could do some cool things. So I don't know who you replace him with. So
Sami Zayn, maybe.
Sami Zayn, yeah. Zayn is definitely a candidate. Maybe they can go after Otis.
The Alpha Academy.
So, no, it was fun. So then we had Drew come. Did we have Drew come out?
Yeah.
We had Drew McIntyre come out. Sit down in the middle of the ring. And the CM Punk chant annoyed Drew.
Well, he sat in the center of the ring like CM Punk.
And so they started doing the what thing, and he goes, "Say what if you French kiss your cousins?" And they do the what. And he's like, "You're disgusting."
Yeah. You also told the cameraman, "Don't fill up my kill you pervert."
Right.
It was just off the rip, like pretty.
It was just off the rip. Just
good.
Just Drew being annoyed with everything. And he declared himself for the King of the Ring. Seemed like that's what we were doing this evening.
Most complex relationship they've ever been in was with their right hand. It's like he told them after they French kissed their cousins.
Oh God. That's pretty good. Seamus comes out. And Seamus kind of lecturing Drew on how Drew has kind of blamed everyone, except for himself, not pointing at everybody else, blaming everybody else for his issues. And it's kind of true, because Drew could have just walked out of the arena with the championship, with the heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
And Damien Priest wasn't going to go after him. A healthy Drew McIntyre.
No, gotta be in the ring. It's not a hardcore title.
Yep. And Seamus kind of broke after the talking about the matches that they would have. Banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And then Drew, leaning into the overweight Seamus angle, goes, "It's more like for you is burger after burger," and just keeps on going.
Burger.
And it broke Seamus a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he just...
but then Seamus tells him, "I could lose weight, but you can't lose stupid."
That is the quote of the evening right there, I feel, is, that I can lose weight, you can't lose stupid. And they didn't have a match. So Sheamus had a match with Shinsuke Nakamura right after, but Drew sat there supporting Shinsuke, or not Shinsuke, Sheamus. But they've been having online beef all week.
Was that a burger joke? Online beef?
Man, I don't like that. I just did that. That was not on purpose, everyone. So just not great, not great. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
Boo this man.
Yeah. So we had Sheamus versus Shinsuke. Shinsuke can. I put this down and I go, because we're talking about sizes, and Sheamus is a lot bigger than Shinsuke, but Shinsuke can fight bigger guys because of the way he fights. Mostly strikes and everything. Hardly any grapples and stuff like that. Because I think that works. But of course, Shinsuke, he needed to go out and lose again.
Well, it was also really funny for me because Michael Cole introduced the match and said, for the first time ever, and I was like, oh, okay, McIntyre versus Sheamus.
Right. We were like,
I was like, what?
We're like, no. Yep.
Can you imagine that was their first match?
Yeah, I know. That'd be crazy. So they're gonna have more matches between Sheamus and and Drew, but and that's fine. But we've seen quite a bit of those. I feel in the past, so we'll see what happens. Shinsuke had the job just to continue putting Sheamus over, keep on making Sheamus look stronger.
Definitely a cool sequence of like finishers and stuff at the end of that match, though. Yes. The bro kick, what it missed, and then Shinsuke hit a Kinshasa. Some kind of sequences and stuff. The bro kick a little bit.
Yep. Bro kick for the win. Man, for some reason, my notes I just have fuck Bronson Reed.
That's all my notes say. It's just the whole page,
just an entire page of that. I don't really understand what I was going for there, but I think he cut a promo.
Yeah, and he shows up and interrupts Sami Zayn, tells him that he has bigger problems to deal with. Sami tells him at any time, any place.
Okay.
And then Bronson walks away, and then he turns around and comes back and attacks Sami.
Of course.
Yeah, and he says we're looking at a new Intercontinental Champion. He walks away. Yeah,
I feel like I don't know if he's getting over as a heel or if I just don't like him.
I feel like it's the same thing with like Roman, where they tried to get us to cheer him for so long. We're like, I'm not going to cheer him. You can't make me cheer you. So I kind of feel like it's the same thing with Bronson, where I'm like, I'm not going to boo him. I'm just not going to pay any mind to him. I just don't care for him right now. I'm sure in the future there will be a storyline that I'm like, okay, now I like Bronson Reed. But right now, for me,
it's just, I just don't think that I also don't think that he has necessarily. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. I think him and Ivar put on a good match once.
Yeah. It was recent.
But Ivar is, good in ring, so that works.
Super flex.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So moving on from that, Chad Gable comes out with the entire Alpha Academy. Most importantly, Tozawa. Yes, Kira Tozawa came out. Everybody came out, and boy, did they all look broken. And we had Chad Gable go straight heel, saying that the Alpha Academy is now, their mission is to put the belt on him. He berated every member.
Oh, he just ripped them apart.
Yeah. Yep. We also had the quick cut to the QR code during this.
Yeah.
So, the ongoing
stipulated Wyatt family 6, so we'll see.
Yeah. So just a really good, like, Chad Gable playing the heel feels very natural right now.
From Shorty G to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling Otis that he's the biggest disappointment out of all of them.
Yeah. Yep. And basically making Otis agree to, being like, making him agree to everything, that all the changes that are happening to the Alpha Academy. It's an interesting just move in that direction. And obviously this is the beginning of the end for the Alpha Academy, but
well, I don't know, because remember, he says that that's what they signed up for. They signed up for feedback. So this could be a whole faction turn, you know, if they really lean
shift.
into it. I do probably envision a scenario where they get rid of Abel and they stay the Alpha Academy. I can envision that, but I think this could be a new Alpha Academy.
It could. But I think Chad Gable is portraying his role as in this heel turn incredibly well. And he hasn't had to do too much other than just change his inflections and change how he talks to people. You know, I think that's been a really cool kind of trend for him. You know, I did this way. Now we're doing it this way. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Okay, so we had Ricochet and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and JD McDonough.
Well, before that is the little in the back area where Ricochet is working out and Dom is talking trash, how he usually cleared the fight. Yeah, Ricochet talks about his speed match that he's supposed to have, which is that new title that they're building up, probably for house shows.
Yeah,
but Ricochet calls JD a bobblehead, which was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
That's also when Liv Morgan shows up out of nowhere and kind of stares down Dom. And I know you were not for it, and you have some ideas for it, but I think that this could be a really cool way of kind of inserting Liv either into the Judgment Day in Rhea's absence, or kind of creating some sort of like marital issues between Rhea and Dom. Like, I don't know. I think this could be something fun. I don't think it's anything. You don't think it's anything more than.
I don't think it's anything more than
that. The heavy copium taker believe that this could be a storyline item.
So the thing is that like, it's like, so how long also touching on Dom here. Dom is injured, and Dom is actually injured.
Yeah.
And
for
he's
real?
going to be out for a while. And
oh boy, they kept telling us how long. Oh god. Baseball arm.
Yeah, I know, right? So I think that, you know, that's a big loss for WWE right now. Because you can put Dom in just about any match against anyone, and it'll be entertaining, and it will get the other person over, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have him win occasionally just through heel tactics and everything, which is really fun. I think that the Liv stare down with Dom is very much on the surface. I think that people are like, so like, oh, she's gonna replace Rhea, and I'm like, you don't really have the time to really make that. Like, we're going. So let me paint you the picture here. So Rhea gets injured by Liv, and Rhea's forced to relinquish her belt from, you know, that she had in the Judgment Day. She has to go away for a period of time, and then suddenly this look of this one glance towards each other. And suddenly we're just creating an entire narrative of romance and all of that. No.
Yeah.
It's so much has to happen. I mean, you can make it happen, but that's TV time. That's a lot of, you know, and here's the thing. It's like, so what is your end game with Liv at that point? Is she going to hold the title in Judgment Day? Because I think that
she's trying to take everything from Rhea.
I think that they're going, that would be it. So that is a good way of putting it. I want to take everything from Rhea, but this is the revenge tour, not the revenge tour against Rhea. Because in essence, if we're just focusing on Rhea, she's already accomplished it. Liv should be focusing on the rest of, you know, should be focusing on Becky, should be focusing on all of that. I think that it's a fun idea to think that you could have this go out for months, but
we'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, I could be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong a lot before, you know.
Thanks for admitting that.
Yeah. So, you know, but you've been wrong too. So
never.
Anyway, so okay, we have the Ricochet and Andrade versus Santos and JD. I thought it was a pretty okay match.
What a weird composition of wrestlers for match. Like, that was a dark match, like, level composition.
Yes.
And it was fine, but I was just like, Ricochet, Andrade, JD Riptipla, and Santos Escobar, and I laughed.
Like, what is Finn doing? Like, could Finn not wrestle? Like, that's the thing. Like, why is Finn Balor suddenly protected from that match? Like,
I don't know.
Anyways, okay, so okay match. Priest comes out at the end, wrecks house, like just destroys, Ricochet and Andrade, and then screams at his teammates or his crewmates, I don't need anybody. You guys need me.
Yeah.
Which again, we're going towards that, maybe not a full, face turn, but just being that, the Stone Cold style of champion, I would say, in a sense. So, and that brings us to the end of the night, where we have the women's, battle royale. Everybody started in ring. There was a really cool moment where Maxine was in the back and looked a little bit nervous. And Becky kind of amped her up, which was a really cool moment for Maxine.
I think it was genuine. I don't think that was scripted.
That's a really, really fun moment. And even if it was scripted, good on the writers for that.
Yeah.
And that kind of led to the moment where both Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae are eliminated by Maxine Dupree.
Which is, that was fantastic. And that was a cool moment.
Yep. And it really amplifies which will create further strife in that group because, their heel tactics aren't necessarily working. It's putting targets on their back now, too.
They did another live camera take where they moved from the backstage to the ring, which is really cool. That was what Becky this time. And one thing I thought, if I'm not mistaken, I think she acknowledged the cameraman as being Stu.
Stu,
John Cena's famous cameraman. And so I just love the live camera takes. It kind of makes it feel like you're at the live show. Like I feel like I'm there. I get to see things that I wouldn't normally get to see. Like Sami's entrance the week before. He's coming through the crowd. I felt like I was there. It's a really cool thing that they're doing.
It is.
And I don't think it's exhausting. They only use it once a night.
Yeah. And that's fine. I think that if they did it all the time during the night, then it would get exhausting. You'd be like, okay, come on, guys. This isn't, this is a reality TV show. This is wrestling.
And not all of the women got an entrance.
No, we cut
only
to
like
commercial.
6 of the 14 got an entrance.
Yep, we cut to commercial, and then everybody was out. So fast forward through the match, getting to the end, we have Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, and Becky Lynch, and so we have the three of them. Nia kept on trying to put them through that freaking announce table, and that announce table just wouldn't break.
It's just too small.
It's like I'm like, oh my god, it's just not breaking. But at the end, we have a really interesting kind of set of just Becky hanging on for dear life and then eliminating Liv to win.
Yeah. Manhandle slam on the outside apron for the win. And while it was definitely a little, it's a move that requires like 3 feet of width to do, and she had like 1 foot to work with, so it kind of looked a little sloppy, a little, it just, there's not much you could do with that. I think they could have probably pulled off a better move for that, even a simple power bomb or something. But she gets her, she manhandle slams Liv Morgan, Liv falls off, Becky wins.
Yep.
And this is where I think that they made the right decision.
Yes.
Because in a battle royale like that, it's not the Royal Rumble. It's a battle royale to win a championship. If you're not if you win that match, you're not winning the belt. You didn't win the belt. You kind of just lasted the longest, or, how many times have we seen like cheap wins and things like that? So I think by putting it on Becky, you're allowing Liv to actually create a story where she can now win the belts. So like if she wins the belt now, she earned it, and there's a storyline to go with it. It's not just, hey, Rhea's gone and I walked in, I marched in, and I took the belt. It wouldn't be as fun as the story that's going to build up now, where Liv does get the belt and Rhea is going to have to fight her for her belt back. But that's the story I envision. I think that giving Becky the belt, that's what they allowed themselves to do. They built it in kind of this cool story.
Because here's the thing, and this is the thing that people were losing online, that if Liv wins the belt, let's say she wins the Battle Royale there, she has the belt, her revenge tour is over.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, so you have this idea of this revenge tour that goes nowhere at that point. And they're like, oh, Becky has to hold the belt again. It's like, Becky's not going to hold the belt for a long time, in my opinion.
I love Becky. I'm a huge Becky stan, but I know that she's not going to hold it, but she got it.
She got
Someone
it.
in that family has to hold the belt.
Yes. So it's one of those things where you just, by putting it on her, you make it legitimate. Excuse me there. You have a legitimate, former champion holding the belt. You're going to be able to do these things where you continue Liv's story rather than just being like, and it's over, and now she's the champion, and now we can't do anything. We can't have Liv going after people. That's the thing, because now, her revenge tour is still ongoing. She can still go after people. It's storytelling, guys. It's not just the match. It's a story. If you want to end the story right now, then, okay. But I have to finish the story. No, anyways. No, pretty good Raw, I would say, overall.
A fun fact about that elimination, so there were 14 competitors. Only five of the competitors actually got eliminations.
Okay.
Only 5 people got eliminations. That was Nia Jax had the most with 4.
Okay.
Becky Lynch and Zoe Stark were tied at 3 each.
3. Okay.
Shayna Baszler got 1, and then Maxine had the 2.
Maxine had 2.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I think that it's a fun. It was fun to see that, and Maxine looked better in the ring overall. So maybe we'll see.
She put them both out back to back, which is great.
It was a good moment for if you are not enjoying Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, which, again, they're there. Whatever. I don't know. I don't really have. Irrelevancy is the death of a career. Here, so it's one of those things. So, anyways, fun Raw. There were some down moments. But Damian Priest is doing a good job of holding the big title now, and Becky winning the big title is fun. You have 2 people who can hold the championship well, I think, at this point.
I hope we see Damien defend more often.
Yes, agreed. And I think we will. Okay, so let's move on to SmackDown. So it's the 2024 WWE Draft. There were 16 picks this night, and we'll talk about the picks as we go along. But we started off the night with the contract signing for the championship match at Backlash between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. AJ Styles has a new entrance, and let me tell you, I don't like that song. That is a stinker. Yep. And I'm glad that we can both move on from that. This contract signing was not exciting whatsoever.
We had a buddy with us that was watching, and he's like, we're like, okay, something crazy is going to happen. He's like, wait, why? I'm like, oh, it's contract signing. Like, things always happen during contract signings. Boy, did we let him down.
Yeah, we did.
We're like, someone's going through that table. Someone's getting hit with that contract. Like, something's going to happen.
Yeah, it would have been fun to have something crazy happen, but I guess with what had to happen at the end of the night, you had to have a lame. But here's the thing: you want to have an exciting start to your show to kind of hold viewers, and I don't know why we start off with a contract signing. Big swing and miss for them, especially when nothing happens during the contract signing, except for, hearing Corey Graves and, just that was it. That was it. They just, had words of venom for each other, and that's it.
It's not about winning the title. It's about holding on to it, or it's about keeping it.
Yeah.
Is what Cody tells AJ. So it's like, all right, well, let's see.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so directly thereafter, we have our first picks. Triple H comes out to do the first picks.
And they actually shook hands.
Yes, they shook hands. Yes, they did. Yeah, so AJ and Cody did shake hands, yeah. Which makes me confused on AJ's character, because it's like, are you a heel? Heels don't shake hands.
Yeah.
Roman never shook hands. Roman never shook hands with Cody.
We'll see what's up.
Yeah.
I tried to say before, I think AJ's has got he's got some sort of direction, but he's not telling us what it is.
Yeah, I think
he's not
it's
telegraphing his story.
It's definitely a direction. But anyways, so we had Paul Heyman inform us that Roman Reigns would withdraw from the draft.
Yep.
So he stays on SmackDown. And then we had the first picks of the draft, which were the number one pick of the WWE draft, the SmackDown section, or for SmackDown, because SmackDown picks first because it's their show. Bianca Belair, strong pick, great pick.
Yeah.
The next pick, Raw, retained Jey Uso. Makes sense. And then the next pick, SmackDown, chose Carmelo Hayes from NXT.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome to the big leagues. He's danced into the bigger shows, but this is now his chance to be there. And the final pick of that round was for Raw, and they picked Seth Rollins, which is really funny because it's like, okay, Seth is out for however long, so it's like, okay, well, we just want to retain him.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Carmelo came out after. He seems pretty good on the mic. Challenged Cody to a match that night. That's the main event. So, of course, Cody accepted it because he has to be kind of a fighting champion now.
Yeah.
So, and we'll see how much that takes out of him. But yeah. And then
yeah, no, I was just gonna move on to what was next.
Yeah, same.
Because Cody was like, "Oh, I what if I forgot my ring gear?"
Yeah,
I didn't forget my ring gear.
Yeah, we knew that Cody was accepting that.
Oh, for sure.
So, next match the match, the first match of the night, really, Legado del Fantasma versus the LWO.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. We see this every week. However, at the end, Santos Escobar shows the footage of Dragon Lee getting
his ass kicked. He tells them that he's not a lion. He kept telling them, "I didn't attack." Dragon
Lee.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
And so they found the video footage.
He's like, I spent weeks trying to get this footage.
Yep. And so they show the footage and they show Carlito. Who could have expected that? And then Carlito does the backstabber to was it Dragon Lee that he did the backstabber to in the ring? Just and then runs away. Carlito being exactly what I want him to be.
But it was fantastic, like the selling of it, because he's in the ring. They're showing the footage of Carlito attacking Dragon Lee, but he's just looking at what? How?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
And for a second, I honestly was like, wait. His reaction, maybe it's a second person. Maybe
Right.
somebody's wearing like an Afro wing and they are attacking Dragon Lee. And I was like, what the hell am I thinking? Why am I always like this? And then now he just goes and he attacks them. But then he looks confused while he's attacking them. I'm like, wait, what is actually happening here?
So I'm a little confused with what they're going to do with it, but I don't want Carlito just being a cheerleader. So that's the thing. Like, I think that nothing wrong with cheerleaders, but I want Carlito to be spitting apples in people's faces and stuff like that. Just being totally, just heelish. Not necessarily heelish, but not a good guy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. And then we had Braun Breaker come out with Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
And Braun Breaker certainly did a spear and then pinned him for the 3 count.
We told our buddy, we were like, this is going to be over in like 20 seconds.
Yep. And it was.
It was.
And it sucks for Cedric Alexander because, he's held a belt at one point of his career. And now he has to come out and job to, Braun Breaker coming up from NXT. Just a really, I think yes, you want to make him imposing, but if all I see from the character is he can do a spear, great. Okay, Goldberg.
Listen,
and I know,
spear is pretty vicious, though.
Here's the thing. It is. And here's the thing. I have no doubt that Braun Breaker is pretty good in the ring, but you're not showing that to me. You're showing that he can spear someone. That's it. I got nothing else to add other than that.
No, I got that. Yeah. No, it's just, we had a little bit of a promo with Tiffany and Bayley.
Yes.
But
so the Tiffany, Bayley, and Naomi sort of strife is real. Tiffany is crushing it right now. Tiffany Stratton, for anybody who is not knowing that. But she is crushing her role as a heel in these.
I might pick up a Tiffany time shirt.
I mean, they're selling them now.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to not be really pumped up about her character. Because she's very good in ring, and she's also what was it? I just had a Tiffany epiphany.
Tiffany epiphany. Oh, yep. My Lord.
Oh my Lord.
Heart growth.
I just I just couldn't stop laughing at that one. And I think who was it afterwards when they were discussing? They were like Tiffany Epiphany, and they were like, "That was pretty good."
Yeah, that was pretty good.
They were on TV.
Wasn't it Nick Aldis and Bayley?
It was Nick Aldis and Bayley.
Yeah,
both said that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, such a. We had the Wyatt family flash again. I feel like we need
speculative.
Yeah, speculative. Yeah, we're gonna say that though. I mean, I think that we have to have some payoff on that pretty soon. Because it's fine to keep on doing, but you're building it. But
it's every week too. So it's twice a week. So
yeah, twice a week.
I think we'll start seeing something. We got Backlash coming up this weekend.
Backlash will be something to maybe we have more, or maybe we're introduced
thing instead of just a flash of an actual material something.
Yep. Okay, so now we're back onto the next round of the draft. SmackDown took Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Yep. And Raw took Braun Breaker, who had signed with SmackDown. So now Braun Breaker is.
And so he had just had a match too. So
yes.
I think it was just a thank
show
you
him off
kind of match. You got one more match on SmackDown, and now you're going to Raw.
Yep. SmackDown then took Nia Jax, get her off Raw. There you go. Which we all discussed, which could be her joining the Bloodline.
Yeah, she is related, so I
Yep.
do envision something along those lines. It makes sense to have her over on SmackDown for that story. Just it seems like Solo is adding more people to the bloodline, and they even
Hmm.
made some kind of a nod towards that. Paul
Hmm.
Heyman said, "You're adding, I never know who's going to be here. You're adding people to the bloodline." So I think this could be a cool way of doing it. And we're not huge Nia Jax fans, but I think this is the right move.
I think it's the right move for her character, especially. And it shakes up the women's division on SmackDown a little bit.
Yeah.
So then we and then the final pick of that round, Raw kept Liv Morgan.
My girl.
So there we are. So she could still chase the belt that Becky has, which is good. We had the Bloodline come out. Well, this is backstage. KO attacked them.
Right, he snuck up. It's like
It was fine.
yeah.
It was fine. It wasn't a very exciting backstage promo. And we might be seeing kind of the legs that Solo might have. But anyways, moving on from that.
But this whole sequence actually it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Because after the backstage thing happens, we go to the main stage.
Yeah.
Look busy.
We move out to the main stage. The fight is ongoing there. And hit Randy Orton's music. And Randy comes out and helps KO. And there was a part of me that because who did Randy RKO? Did he RKO anyone?
I feel like it tried to, and they pushed him away.
Yeah, maybe. I felt like there was a moment where I looked at what was happening, and and both Kevin Owens and Randy Orton were standing towards the ropes, challenge, basically, screaming at the bloodline. And I thought that Randy was going to RKO KO. There was a part of me that was like, yeah, he doesn't like the bloodline, but I don't know if he's so happy with you, KO. So
it was pretty neat though. It's because while they were fighting backstage, and then on the main stage, you've got the Kabuki Warriors and Bianca and Jade, and they're all getting in each other's faces and they're yelling at each other. And then Tamatonga and KO come out from behind the ring and interrupt their argument and just split the party, and then they go down to the ring. And so then that's when it all happens. It was pretty interesting that they, one big sequence.
That was probably the best part of it. I think the backstage stuff was kind of but anyways, it was what it was. Okay. Moving on to the next round of the draft, the third round. SmackDown retains LA Knight.
Yeah.
Anyways,
to me, what was more important than the draft itself is who was presenting, because this, I was like, hey, what?
Right.
On the Raw side of their war room, they had Bubba Ray Dudley, and on the SmackDown side, they had Devon Dudley, and they both came out and were doing the draft picks. The Dudley boys, they put on their glasses, and it was just really cool for me to see. Once again, they're old, but it's cool to see them still kind of involved, because I thought Bubba Ray was with TNA as Bully Ray. So I, still some affiliation there. I may be wrong. Maybe he's not with them anymore, but he was. Yeah, so I picked up LA Knight.
Yep. So SmackDown retains LA Knight. Raw retained Ricochet. SmackDown held on to the entire bloodline because, evidently you can pick an entire faction.
For sure,
And Raw took Sheamus, who had been appearing on Raw, but previously Sheamus had been on SmackDown, so before his injury. So that was that. So we had Naomi versus Tiffany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. good match. And it was interrupted by Nia Jax, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So they were attacking her.
Right.
They were beating her up, but then she turned around and finally hit them, and that's when they called the bell. And SLR Blight was like, "Wait, why is it over now?" I'm going to explain to him like how disqualifications work.
Right. They can't be involved in the match, but it doesn't matter if the people in the match are involved in something. So, no. And then Tiffany did another, the prettiest moonsault, to both Bayley and Naomi.
Yep.
And setting up for Backlash, which I thought because the match was for the match against Bayley at Backlash. So with the DQ, so now there's no challenger for Bayley, and what you can do is you can have a triple threat.
Which is what we thought was probably going to happen.
Because I think this is now the time to start giving Tiffy her push as a major heel on SmackDown. So we'll see. So then we had our final round of the draft, and presented by Teddy Long and
your boy JBL.
JBL, yeah. Oh boy,
that man is not problematic at all.
Nope, that man is super problematic. Anyway, so SmackDown retained AJ Styles. Raw retained the Alpha Academy. SmackDown took Andrade. So Andrade moves. And Raw took Kiana James from NXT.
I was surprised to see that, and I don't know anything really about her. We don't follow NXT too much, and so we went and we looked some stuff up online, and yeah, she's a real deal. Looking forward to seeing that.
It's interesting that they've kind of added to their female division, because the Raw female division, I feel, is much weaker than SmackDown's. But it's interesting that they added from outside of the two shows, some female talent. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so final match, main event of the night. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes. Good match. It was very entertaining.
Some interesting sequences that happened.
Yes.
Cody cutter. And I don't know what Carmelo calls his move, but going at him at the same time, they both missed. It was interesting because they kind of have a similar moveset, and so I think that's kind of cool to see.
They have very similar body types, so I feel like they're that more athletic, but not bodybuilder. Body type. So, and then we had AJ Styles come out at the end,
and do what? Nothing. He just stood there like a deer in headlights. Like, nothing. There is some speculations that Cody got injured in that match. Or he just sold really well. So we'll see.
That was the thing. Wouldn't it be something if Cody got injured in a match on SmackDown and has to relinquish the title? Wouldn't that be something? But pretty good SmackDown. I would say that the draft was a little bit not as exciting as it could have been.
It was a waste. It was an absolute waste. Nothing really happened.
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown got Nia. Raw got Kiana James. And then pretty much everything else kind of maintained. Right?
So they did. So this is kind of our first real draft, right?
Right.
And so I found out that the draft actually continues offline.
Right. It does?
Yeah, it does. So there were some more draft picks that happened.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander and Ashante the Adonis got moved, or they got drafted to SmackDown.
Okay.
Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, is it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, they're going to Raw.
Yep.
So that's cool. So they're NXT moving on up, right? Or were they already up? I can't remember. We don't see too much.
I think they sort of were, but not really.
Ivar to Raw.
Ivar was already
on Raw. But this is the big one. This is one that we haven't seen in a while. Baron Corbin is coming back to SmackDown.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
he's been in NXT for what feels like a year or two. I don't know if he's redeveloping his character. I don't know what he's doing down there, but he is coming back to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting because, you know, I know that he went down to NXT to kind of revamp the character, and just it'll be interesting to see what he brings forward. By the way, you know, there was a moment in SmackDown, and this is how unimportant I find this now. Karrion Kross. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Yeah, there was a moment, and I'm like,
I'm trying.
I don't. The thing is that they have this big, you know, because they're, you know, the authors of Pain are fighting who next week. I don't even care. I don't care. You know, like it could be for a belt at this point, and I don't care. I think it is for the belt, isn't it?
I don't know, because I don't care.
Yeah, like, just terrible.
So
SmackDown, you know, so that's cool that they had a few more rounds of the draft, or a few more picks. You know, so we're yeah.
What I thought was interesting with the Baron Corbin move as well is I thought it would have been good because him and Braun Breaker were a tag team in NXT, but then now they're gonna be a different branch with Braun Breaker going to Raw and Corbin going to SmackDown. So I thought they're gonna try to bring that back, but doesn't seem so.
No, I think they're probably resolute in having Braun do a solo run. Definitely, you know, have a heavy push towards the main event. I would think, you know, if you're trying to make him look, you know, invincible, then it is what it is. So now we have because this is the show before Backlash. So we're going to we're going to look at the matches and we'll give our picks. So, and then you guys can call us out for when we get them wrong.
Please do. But I'm never wrong. Yep.
So, we'll start, with, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline, tag team match.
There's still that Bloodline being Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga.
Yep. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Who's your pick?
I think we're going to see some bullshittery, some classic Bloodline bullshittery, and I think they're going to pull it off. I think we're going to see the Bloodline beat KO and Randy Orton. And I think storyline-wise, it makes the most sense.
I agree. I take the Bloodline in this one for the same reasons. I think they have another signing of another Bloodline member.
Yeah, another cousin.
Been shown. Yeah, another cousin. So I think that we might see that. See him introduced there and continuing.
He's a Fatu as well, right? Is he?
I think he's a Fatu, yeah. I can't remember his name. I apologize, everyone. Sorry, not sorry. So then we have the next match, Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
This is for the belts too, right?
It's for the belts. It's for the women's championship. Yep.
I want Jade and Bianca to win, but they're not a tag team. And do you really want Jade to gain a tag team belt this way after pushing her as like this dominant woman for so long? I don't know. Would it be cool to see Bianca and her like absolute peak human shape with these belts? Maybe. I will Kabuki Warriors.
And I will go the opposite. I believe that Bianca and Jade win this match. And I think they take the belt off the Kabuki Warriors because I don't think the Kabuki Warriors have been... they've been defending the belt, obviously, but I think that you have to continue to see... I think they continue to bring damage control down, and then you see what, you know, it starts shaping up, you know, the strife in that group. So I think Jade and Bianca win for those reasons. But yours are completely valid too. So we'll see.
Thank you.
Yep. I validate you. So next match, Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton for the women's championship.
This one, I could go either way, and either way being only between Bayley and Tiffany. I don't see them putting the belt on Naomi. I think we're seeing a huge Tiffany push right now. I mean, she's closing out the show, stacking them and moonsaulting them. So I can see them putting it on Tiffany Stratton, but I think Bayley retains.
I agree with you. I think Bayley retains at the end of the day. I think through something happening, necessarily like Naomi pulling Tiffany's foot or something like that.
Yeah.
And just, when causing, allowing Bayley to retain. So yeah, I think we'll see something like that.
I think we'll see Bayley defend a little bit more.
Yep.
I do see Tiffany being a champion soon, though.
I do too. I think that she has a shot at that belt in the future. Okay. So we have Damian Priest versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship.
So much cheap.
Yep.
I have my feelings, I have my ideas, I have the story with the direction that I want my story to go. Jey winning would be great for story if they had already started establishing the story. Jey having the belt, Jey should already have the belt going into the Bloodline Civil War. I think Damien wins. The only way I could see Jey winning is if they try and establish him as a tribal chief and have to get his faction in order. You're like, hey, I got the belt, fall in line. But Damien just won that belt at WrestleMania, and his victory was magnificent. Everything about that whole choreographed moment was magnificent. I don't think you tarnish that by having them lose the belt this early. Damien retains.
I agree. Damien retains. I think it's through interference. Like they call off the match.
You think it's gonna be a DQ?
I think Damien loses it and probably like chokeslams JD McDonough. South of Heaven chokeslam JD.
You think this is where Damien goes out?
I think we start having the split here. I don't necessarily think he's out of there after this, but I think that, I think JD is on his way out.
Of course he is. Just when I started liking him.
Yeah, I know, right? But I think the thing is that it's like, I think he's going to be just tired of it and just, and then it's going to be a big storyline the next night, or on Raw, because it's on Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah.
So I think this is the crack, the legitimate. You're seeing the foundation, and you're like, and now I think we see a legitimate crack form in it. In the Judgment Day. I think that's how you do this. And because I think Damien wants to prove that he's better than Jey. And I think that you have the interference and you have Damien chokeslam JD. I think it's a perfect
so one thing I could possibly see happening is with last week, Jimmy Uso getting the crap beat out of him. He's like, I'm not sure if they've kicked him out of the bloodline or if they're just teaching him a lesson. Yeah. Maybe they just kicked him out of that bloodline. So I could envision a scenario where all the interference happens. JD comes out, they're jumping Jey, and then Jimmy comes out. Now, I called for them to be back at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The Usos back together, but this could be, Jimmy comes out maybe and helps his brother a little bit.
Maybe.
I could see it forming that. Like,
as long as he isn't really that injured, I think that, because I had heard the rumblings that Jimmy was injured. Ooh. So we'll see.
I think it would be very interesting if the original bloodline gets back together. And I mean Roman, Jimmy, Jey.
Yeah.
And, with Paul, or maybe Paul, I don't know, if Paul goes with Solo, he's intimidated. I don't know. It's fun. But that's what it is. It's the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline. Like this, it's cool. It's cool.
It is. It is. Okay, and then so the final match, or I guess the main event, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. I think that this is. I'll make my pick first. Cody, unless he's injured, unless he's actually injured. But Cody has to retain.
I agree. I do think Cody retains. If he doesn't, then what's his story? Not just like, I need to finish my story, but it's like, no, where do you go with him next?
Yeah.
He's the biggest name in the business, and he's got the biggest belt in the business, and you give it to AJ Styles? He defended it twice already, actually?
Yeah, I think twice.
Right? So,
yep.
He's got he retains. And I bet it's a banger of a match because AJ Styles doesn't disappoint on a PLE.
He's a worker, and he's in phenomenal shape. And his moveset always works. And with Cody Rhodes, I think it'll work out very well.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good match.
Yeah, I think this is a good main event. And while the belt won't move, because really we're only predicting one belt moves, or the tag belt, the women's tag belt. I'm the only one predicting that.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm predicting no belt movement.
I think they want to move those belts, but we'll see. Which is weird. So, but I think that I agree. There's gonna be some bangers in this, I feel.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully it's good. I
think it will be good. Yeah. Like Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca and Jade, Bailey, Naomi, Tiff. Like the women are gonna sell it. The women are gonna be the reason why this event is great.
Yep, I agree. So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end here. Anything fun happening? Anything we're doing? Do we have anything going on?
Nothing really going on yet. Like I said last week, we're in story building season, so
yeah.
I would love to try and get to a public match or a public match. What do they call them now? I just want to go to a live show. I just want to go to a live show.
Oh, live show? Okay. Yeah. I don't know where the closest PLE will be.
Yeah.
So, but that's that. Yeah, nothing going on. We'll be recording next Sunday.
That'll be post Backlash.
Post Backlash. So, that'll be fun. And you can all either laugh at us or,
call us crazy.
How brilliant we are in our predictions, which is what I'm anticipating because I think I'm going to get them all right.
Ooh,
yeah, I know.
Bring in the heat.
I think I know. I think I have the inside track on this one.
Well, yeah, you got a guy.
Yeah, I got a guy. He's got mattresses too, if you need one.
Oh,
yeah, I know, right? Just fell off a truck. Anyways, you can find us on all social media at Move Those Belts. Feel free to follow us. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. I believe we're streaming on there right now.
Oh,
so if you happen to join us, that's cool. If we're not streaming on there, then oh well, I don't care. No, I do. But anyways, we were having a lot of fun with this, I feel. So it's been really cool to spend our Sunday mornings and talk about wrestling and really prep for the week. So hope you'll join us next week where we kind of dive into both Raw and SmackDown as well as Backlash.
It's gonna be a long one. Buckle up.
It will. Probably going to be longer than this. We're trying
8 hours of content to unpack.
8 hours of content.
More. Oh. 9 hours? 3 hours Raw, 2 hours SmackDown, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hours for pay-per-view, usually 3 hours.
Yeah. 4 hours, yeah.
God, imagine you covered NXT, 10 hours, AEW, 12 hours. Man, there's so much wrestling on TV now.
Yeah, it really is. And, for people who cover both WWE and AEW, I don't have the energy.
It's a great time to watch wrestling.
It is. It's a good time what a time to be alive, folks. What a time to be alive. So, well, find us on social media. Catch the podcast wherever you do watch or listen to your podcast. Spotify preferred from us, but you can also do YouTube. But until next time, This is Joe and Justin signing off.
Bye-bye.
Take care.